Friends, tonight we are gathered here to celebrate Mr. and Mrs. X as they come together in this matrimonial ceremony. These are the common words we hear during weddings. But how long and how much must you spend for these events? One day events. This is the family edition.
Karibuni, welcome tuelimishwe kwa masuala ya jamii, tutumbuizwe sana mbalimbali, tujuze juu ya matukio ya kila pembe, tuwapa burudani kwa familia nzima. Ati, ati, ati,
Coach Collins Bolo, good evening, and how are you doing tonight?
Good evening, Mr. Eli, and I'm very fine and excited for two things. One,
Tell
being
me.
in this meeting today, and two, today it's my great day. It's my birthday.
Awesome, awesome, Coach. Happy birthday to you.
Yeah,
What a way to start the weekend.
thank
I
you,
hope
thank
you're
you.
really having a bomb wherever you are.
Very excited to know today I'm in Kisumu, Dala Pacho. Last week I was in Voi, and today right here streaming live that our people may enjoy the sweetness of family edition.
Definitely. And Coach, what a pleasure to have you on board tonight, even as you celebrate your birthday live with us on the Arts in Heart. Remember, you can follow this cast with the following on Facebook, the Arts in Heart, and of course on YouTube, we are streaming the Arts in Heart official. Remember, starting the month of November, we'll be shifting so that we can give you even more and better quality of transmission in HD format, the good and great sound quality. So do migrate slowly but slowly and invite all your friends to come to the YouTube channel where we have so much lined up for you. But tonight we are speaking about this topic that a lot of people say it is interesting to them. Weddings, Coach Collins. Weddings. Brothers and sisters have been breaking their piggy banks for this single day that they are supposed to enjoy to the maximum. Coach, before we even get started, what is the difference between wedding and marriage? Put it into context.
Okay, thank you. I think one of the most important thing for people to separate is between a wedding and marriage, because basically wedding is a one-day event where people come together to celebrate, to witness two people coming to the union of marriage. So basically, it can be one-day event. Sometimes some community can be 3 days event. Some community can be maybe 4 or 1 week event, depending where you are coming from. However, as much as this is an event which depends on the number of days based on the community you are coming from, marriage is totally something different, because now marriage now is the union between the two so that they become husband and wife. Now, with marriage, it can either be traditional marriage, it can be civil marriage, or it can be traditional marriage. Any of it can take place even without a wedding. At that point, it's not a requirement. However, because we are coming from an African context whereby we have celebration when a child is born, we have celebration during circumcision rite, we have celebration during marriage rite, and also we conclude celebration during burial rite. Then putting it into context of dynamics of our culture today becomes extremely important. But one has to separate that wedding is just an event of celebration, while marriage is the union between two as husband and wife.
Well, talk of unions and the celebrations of events and all that, Coach. Somebody was asking me to ask you this. Who exactly does a wedding event benefit? Is it the people conducting the ceremony or actually the couples that are being involved in that ceremony?
If I'll put it in context of African context,
Mhm,
actually, wedding celebration, it's an event for the community and celebration of the community as two people during this event become husband and wife, and as two families come
mhm,
together, while others come to celebrate as witnesses. So, in our context, when this happens, the event happens, the two couples are there to be celebrated. The
mhm.
community comes in to celebrate the union of the two community and the union of the other couples who are there.
Yeah.
So basically, it's a celebration for in context of Africa community, which is different from the West out there. So in African context, when two people come together, we all come together, put our heads together to celebrate the union of
Mhm.
the two and the union of the two communities at that particular point.
Fine. As we're planning for weddings and everybody that is planning for weddings, this is your night to listen in because we just didn't get started yet. Let's get to the comment section to welcome everybody that is watching tonight. And once again, good evening to you. And we are Makomere amesema yeye yuko very loud. I don't know what is happening the other side of the world that is making him, kupigia hizi announcements na loudspeaker. Tuned in, Noreen Ambata, thank you so much for tuning in. We have Mary Kawira Kibinji who says watching from Mombasa. Thank you so much. And Nancy Magan says good evening, everybody. Good evening to you, Nancy. Hope you are holding on good. We have Masters Msondezi who says hey to you, Masters. And of course, let's see. Yeah, somebody is playing lights games with my studio here. I'm gonna just get that fixed in a moment. But meanwhile, we have Ongaro Peter who says thank you. Okay, I don't know what is happening here. People are thanking each other. Happy birthday to you from Jane Happiness. Says happy birthday to you, Coach
Thanks,
Bob.
Jen. Thanks a lot.
Oh, Bolo rather. And we have Noreen that says happy birthday, Coach Bolo. September is a month of legends. Okay,
Yeah, that's
okay.
true.
A month of legends. Wycliffe tells me, Atinad, wedding is a waste of money. Can't afford to impress people. Okay, we'll be coming to that in a short while, Coach, of course. And we have again Nancy who says, happy birthday to you, Coach Collins. Happy birthday once again. Well.
Thank
All the
you.
wishes, keep them coming, keep them coming. Maria, okay, let me get that right. Maria
Maria Pia.
Pia Otiso says good evening and tuned in. Good evening to you. Ray Asami tells me Norina Bata, tega maskio utanipea notes. Okay, watu wanatega hapa maskio. Okay, thank you so much. And for those who are streaming us live on YouTube, karibu sana. Caroline Manyonge who says happy birthday, Coach. Okay. Hey, Coach,
Thanks,
leo
Carol.
leo ilikuwa njia ya
Mashabiki
kupata
kama
birthday
wote.
wishes. Okay, Makomere says happy birthday to you.
Thank
We
you.
have uh, watu washaanza kuchokozana huku. So the last
Naona.
losers come take notes. Usiniite kwa group ya komiti ya harusi na budget ya 0.5 million. Okay, fine,
Mhm.
fine. Lilian says watching. Thank you so much, Lilian. Teresa Shikolio says tuko pamoja pia. Kiproroda streaming us live on YouTube. Thank you so much, Art in Art Family Edition. Happy birthday to you, Coach Edwin Kanda. Okay, wacha nizimalizie hizi happy birthday, tutarudi pa baadaye. Happy birthday, Pastor Collins, watching from Ruiro. It is loud
Yeah.
and clear, I suppose. That is what Edwin wanted to say, of course. And we have George Kiberio who says hi you. Okay, sijui ni baby mgani unatafuta, lakini ni sawa, nimesikia vile umesema. We are multi-streaming, of course, on 4 pages, so I do understand you, sir. Bidei Val who says happy birthday, Pasi. Okay, now
Thanks.
that you've established
Yeah.
Collins is equally a man of the clergy or a clergyman. Collins,
Hmm.
let me ask you, when you are planning for these weddings, why do we impose some unnecessary expenses on couples? Is it necessary to have a white dress? Let's start from there.
The issue of the white dress is that's the white man culture. We need to, it's not even in a context of the church.
Mhm.
Some claim it's a sign of purity, but in reality, it's a culture of the white man, which
Mhm.
was brought together with the gospel in an African context. So it's not a requirement to have a white gown. You can decide blue, black, purple, it doesn't matter. The key
Mhm.
thing is the union which takes place at that particular point. And if it is religious, the context of the union is God putting you together. If it is
Mhm.
civil, the law of the government, it's the binding force at that particular point. And if it's tradition, the culture and the tradition of your society plays a key
Mhm.
role toward governing the kind of marriage which you are starting at that particular point. So the color of the dress is not a requirement, meaning you can dress any style which is presentable and
Mhm.
okay. It's not a must to have white.
It's not a must to have white. So that
It's
one
not a
is out of the
must.
box. So this idea of
Yes.
importing all your clothing from Turkey, I don't know, from Dubai and Dubai and Dubai shouldn't exist.
Now, the challenge is this. You see, sometimes back, like around 15, 20 years, seeing weddings taking place was a very rare occasion
Mhm.
because people are just meeting and eloping. So eloping was a very common thing. And
Mhm.
some, if not eloping, it was a civil, whereby they go to the government office, they get their marriage vows, and they disappear. Some traditional way. But
Yeah.
the good thing is, through religious influence, now more and more people started doing weddings, which is good and encouraging. But where the challenge is this competition. There's too much
Ah.
competition, as if there'll be an award for marriage and wedding because somebody is the expenses were much than the other particular individual. Now, because of this thing of competition, one, because most of us Africans, we are good photocopiers. We are not
Mhm.
creative, whereby we can make someone something good, excellent, and presentable, but not necessarily damn expensive. So people budget are put on their throat because of the competition of the two couples, whom sometimes their view about marriage and excellence in marriage is so much hypothetical. Now, out of that, people find themselves in a big fix whereby they have to be distressed not to have a wedding because it sounds to have a wedding, it's damn expensive, or
Mhm.
they have to spend extremely a lot so that theirs can be remembered was the best against the other person. But who cares after that? After people have eaten, still in every wedding, they'll be complaining. Hii pilau haikuwa kama ya fulani. No matter how
Mhm.
good you do it. Hizi
Mhm.
maua zilikuwa bit shady shady. People always complain about each and
Mhm.
everything. So the best thing people need to be focused and understand why, what's the purpose of wedding? Very key things. Now, from a clergy point of view, one, the union before God. Two, so that we can have witnesses who are there to acknowledge that so and so have declared to be husband and wife. So that
Mhm.
one becomes a safety in this sense. We have found that in a society sometime a man can be in one city, then he gets into marriage, then years
Mhm.
later he relocates to another city as a single individual, then
Mhm.
he dates another lady, then he declares for another marriage. Now,
Yeah.
once witnesses have been there, it becomes good because it protects people from such kind of behaviors. And in case it happens, many can come up, we know this guy, we know this lady, at one point of time, he or she was married.
Yeah.
So other purposes include bringing in the two families together, apart from the two couples together, in a more public manner.
Mhm.
The purpose is towards our African beauty and celebration of each other. Because we believe in celebration. It's part of our life. We are a social community as Africans, and we believe in celebrating each other's success.
Yeah.
And in our context, marriage was regarded to be a great success and achievement. That's why when a young man, a young lady ears are moving and nothing is happening, there's too much pressure. Utaolewa lini? When are you going to bring a
Mhm.
young lady in the house? Why? Because
Mm.
it brings honor to the family once people get married. However, must it be damn expensive wedding? That's where the challenge is.
As we try to figure out that challenge, and thank you, Coach, for making all those aspects fall into place, we want to ask you that is watching tonight, what is the ideal or what would be an ideal wedding budget? Just Engage us in the comment section. Tell us what would be your ideal wedding budget and what are these important things that must not miss in your wedding. Okay, if you can answer those questions, then we'll be more than happy to actually engage with you. Meanwhile, remember you are streaming this live on YouTube and Facebook. The handle is the Arts in Heart Official on YouTube and the Arts in Heart on Facebook. Starting the month of November, we'll be swiftly moving and try to bring you this cast live every single almost 5 days a week. We'll be bringing you this cast. So get onto YouTube, hit the subscription button. If you are wondering what handle to use, that is right on your screen, the Arts in Heart Official. That is the handle. Get there, subscribe, and let's do this together. Meanwhile, let's take a short break, and we'll be right back.
We mora, hebu simama hapo. Hiyo tumbo uko nayo yote ni ya nini? Hiyo ni nini? Hiyo tumbo yote, nakuuliza hiyo tumbo yote ni ya nini baba? Uko na mimba? Ai mama, nini kwani nikikuuliza mimi ni msasi wako? Msasi anachua kukusinda. Usitani kwa sababu umeenda shule sasa unachua kunisinda. Nimekuuliza hivi baba, ni mimba? Kama ni mimba wewe niambie. Mimi ni msasi wako, mimi ni rafiki yako. Nichue vile nitakusaidia. Nimekuwa naona nafichana hapa kwa gate. Labda ni mimba. Ni mimba? Hapana. Nikiteli umekula saa 7? Na kukataza kila siku hapa kukula kama mjinga usikii. Bado unakula hapa kiteli umekula saa 7. Sasa unakaa kama afisa hapa. Watoto wengine hawakai kama wewe. Unakaa kama mjinga. Ungekuwa unasoma vile unakula wewe mtoto. Ungekuwa unasoma na hiyo speed unakula nayo. Ungekuwa unafanya medicine. Toka hapa enda ukatie kuku mboga. Mtoto Mungu angenipatia kikombe nikunywe nayo maji ama marabuani nikunywe nayo uji.
That is Mama Mora. And Mama Mora is a fussy one. In case you missed out on last night's edition, head back to YouTube, of course, and get a replay of those. Those and many other clips. Coach Collins, there's something
Yes.
Mama Mora says in that clip. When pregnancy comes into play, people all of a sudden want to be married very fast. Does this also increase your chances of blowing out of proportion your budgets? And how well can one do and prepare for a wedding in the event actually they get pregnant?
Now, people becoming pregnant before.
Coach, am I losing you by any chance? I believe we just lost Coach right there for a moment. We're gonna try and get him back. Meanwhile, let's see. Caroline says, Manyonge says, I'm following from Soy in Eldoret. That's a place. Najua njia ukiteremka na uko chini on your way to Kitale. Well done. Thank you so much for being part of the conversation tonight. Let's see who else is here. We have this is a long one here. Nasod Business Enterprise says, my dear friend, best family, and I have a privilege to work with your great wife. You have been a blessing to us as a family. Watching you from Watamu today, that is Nasod Mwale. That is directly at Coach Collins. Okay, fine. And then we have happy birthday, Coach. Enjoy your month. Okay, Coach, I believe umejisort, you are back. If you can hear me, Coach. Coach, if you can hear me, go ahead, please. Okay.
Just
fine.
a minute. I'm sorting out my net here.
Okay, great. Let's give Coach some time there. We have Joshua Masese who says, Wadau, simunipe bana. We jipe shughuli Joshua. Jipe shughuli. Let's see who is here. Again, we have Jakita who says, Antinat Family Edition, my ideal wedding reception should be with close friends and family, not more than 50 persons, while we will be cherishing good moments and having fun. Okay, fine. That's just one from you. And thank you so much for sharing your ideal sort of wedding. We have Anna Mino who says, following from Mombasa, God bless you, Coach. Thank you so much, Anna, for being part of the conversation. And we are asking you, if you were planning for a wedding, what would be your ideal sort of wedding? And what are these must-have that ideally you'll put into your budget? Because a lot of times we end up with great weddings in your dreams, of course, and then the kind of dent you have on your bank account, it's nothing to be proud about. These and others we're discussing with Coach Collins Bolo, who tells me Akorada. Coach,
Yes, I'm back.
you're back like you never left.
Yes. Now, I was saying pregnancy, accidental pregnancy, or abrupt pregnancy most of the time takes place in our society. Now, the biggest challenge is when it happens and the parents are pushing for wedding immediately, or you both of you are pushing for the wedding immediately, because if it will be known, it will be a disgrace, because in African context, even religious context, it was not expected. Now, during that for this particular time, there's a conflict between the ideal as or the budgeted, the projected budget for the wedding which people are thinking about and what has to be done abruptly. Now, that's the time whereby the rubber meets the road, because if these two cannot adjust in the context of the situation, then they get distressed to themselves, or they become a burden to many other more people. That's why people need to understand this aspect. What is the key most important thing when a wedding takes place, as you are asking? Now, if that definition is not clear, and the only thing is to make everyone happy so that your wedding can never be forgotten, there's nothing which is not forgotten. That's the reality. Even if you do a wedding worth 20 million Kenyan shilling, it just needs 1 week for us to start forgetting about it. That's how it is.
Coach, so
Yes.
as a coach and as a relationship coach, we've had enough times people saying this word. Unfortunately, that's the truth of the matter, that not all of these rosy weddings will actually last a lifetime. Is it time we considered exactly how much we spend on weddings? And what would be your ideal budget, coach? If today you're told, okay, Coach Collins, you have a chance to get married and to pay budget, what are these things you'll bring on table and must have for that wedding to proceed?
I will do what I did in the past if such opportunity comes again. It was as simple. From when I was young, I said that during my time for wedding, I'll make it as simple as possible. And this is how simple it was. I, the lady I'm going to marry, and the witness, the two witnesses, best couples. After that, the minister, officiating minister, and the people to witness. As simple as that. Then the budget for people to eat after the service, which doesn't consume a lot of money. People get happy, get excited. In a nutshell, what I'm saying is this. Some of the key things which are important as far as the event is concerned is budgeting for your attires. If you need to and you don't have others, the issues of the ring is key and important. If you're outsourcing the minister, officiating minister, you need to budget for it. You need to budget for the certificates, because there's some amount of money which has to be paid to the government directly via M-Pesa. And then the same particular time, there are other small documents which also you need to fill in, which won't cost you much as far as your marriage is concerned. Then, depending, do you want to be the wedding to be done in a church hall? That will cost differently. Do you want it to be a garden wedding? The cost is different. All these costs are going to the government. Then the amount of money you're going to pay for the certificate, because the church which is offering to you the certificate bought it from the government. One book sheet is 20,000 Kenyan shilling. So each and every slide of true, you have to pay for it. Unless your church declares, because you are a tither within that congregation, then it gives you for free, depending on the church government and how churches operate. Also, we have other fees. Okay, the fee to the government, we have the fee for the certificate, then we have the fee for the officiating minister. Because at this particular time, the officiating minister represents two organs, a representative of the government of Kenya as a licensed officer as far as marriage is concerned, and him also as a minister at that particular point. Budget for this particular individual. Then after that, budget for the celebration of others. Now, in the ideal African context, when issues like wedding take place, when it comes to celebration and eating matter, it is the budget for the community. So budget are separated. There are some expenses which the two couples need to plan for, and there's some expenses which the community comes in to budget so that the celebration of their own can become excellent.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, the thing is disappearing in some of the context of community, whereby you might have grown up as an orphan, maybe you grew up in a dysfunctional home, or you grew up in a family whereby they don't believe in doing weddings.
Yeah.
Then that's the time whereby your social network or your social worth comes in to help, especially people you have the same value system or believe in supporting you for this particular day and event. And I
Yeah.
usually say, if people can cooperate to buy for each other bottles of beer, they can give each other cigarettes at other events. I believe true friends can also stand for each other when such kind of one-day event takes place. So that upon the event ending up, you don't go back home with nothing in your pocket. Why? Because you have to entertain everybody at the expense of your tomorrow. That's very key. Extremely key.
Coach, you've mentioned about people coming in and helping get by, but I also believe we are getting out of that space. I wouldn't really advocate for people actually contributing for you and your pleasures in terms of who you're marrying. That's my personal opinion. But do you think it's really something that you wake up one morning and you've been added in 5 WhatsApp groups and you're being told the hand that gives is the hand that receives. We are hereby inviting you to our wedding that is going to cost us 500,000 Kenyan shillings. That's $500,000. This person earns less than $200 a month, and you're trying to figure out how is this even possible. But we know through your strength and the power of giving, God will bless you. Coach, easy
Yeah,
mistari nyinyi utoa wapi?
actually, what's happening, sometimes people can use such kind of phrases to manipulate others towards their own selfish goals and intention. If your social network and your social worth is down, don't go for what you cannot afford and the support you cannot get. Because by the end of the day, you are going to become bitter and angry with each and every person who did not stand with you for your wedding, which is worth $500,000, yet your salary is less than 20,000. Just to entertain people, just to set of competition.
Yeah.
So each person need to understand your social network and your social worth is what will save you in such a kind of a day. If you're not interacting with people, if your social network is down, if even the social network of your parents and your people will determine how people will come and celebrate with you on such kind of a day and event.
Yeah.
That's why some people, their personal money on this particular day, it is not affected at all, because the whole community comes in to support. Workmates, neighbors, people from the village, friends from the city, they all come and celebrate. Yet another person organizes the same event and he has to take a loan to entertain people. And he becomes bankrupt after they say I do.
Coach, you just jumped the gun for me, but it's okay. It's okay. I was headed there, but thanks a lot for actually making my points not make sense. We have Peter and Jiro who just tuned in from Mombasa Tudor. Thank you so much, Peter, for tuning in.
That's Chuda.
And we have Chuda. Uko
Chuda.
karibu na ile Chuda. It's Chuda.
It's Chuda, yes.
Okay, it's Tudor. I always say Tudor. All my life, I know this place as Tudor.
No,
But it's okay.
that's
Thank you so much for the correction.
That's
Go
what
ahead.
happened to my grandmom. My grandmom traveled all the way to Mombasa. So when my father used to be a student from school, used to train his mother on how to read alphabets. So he told him, when you get to Mombasa and you disembark, then you'll see matatus written Chuda Docks. So she was there, Chuda Docks. So she alighted in Mombasa and she was seeing Chuda for it was Tudo. So she was there for hours waiting for Chuda. Don't worry, I'm just kind of like my grandmother.
It's funny because I've been there in person, and all this time I know there's Chuda in Mombasani, but I've never been to Chuda. But actually, I've been to Chuda.
Yes,
That's not a Swahili name. It's not a Swahili name. Maybe ni hawa watu wa Vasco da Gama.
It's not a Swahili name.
Ni hawa watu wa Vasco da Gama. We have to discover. We have to find out.
It's just like Buxton, but it was Bastand.
But
it was a bus stand, a stage, a bus stand, because some people
Mhm.
cannot pronounce it well. They say backstand. So today
Buxton.
we have backstand. Yes.
Okay, Buxton. Let's see. Wadau si okay, huyo tulikuwa tushamalizana na story yake. Amedai sana hiyo namba. Let's see. Tumepata Roslyn who says happy birthday to you, coach. Thank you so much, Roslyn. Once again, we have Njikita who says it is good to have a big wedding event, but if you have to struggle to pay the rent and food for the next month, it's not worth it. Check your pockets when you're budgeting your wedding. Don't count on contributions.
Yeah. That's a wisdom.
Contributions.
That's wisdom.
Wisdom flowing contributions. Again, we have baby Black Oduke who says watching from Touchdown Sports Donholm. Thank you so much for joining in. Tunaona Nairobi ko represented. We have weddings can inspire competition. Couples whose friends grow up are get grow sorry, let me take that again. Couples whose friends group are all getting married too may feel additional pressure to throw the biggest and best party in their crowd. Yes, unnecessary pressure. Perpetual, that's Nancy. Thank you so much. We have Perpetual Mwangi who says happy birthday to you, coach. Okay, watu wajasahau ni birthday yako. Umekumbukwa sana leo, coach. Family edition ya harusi
Aha.
sichangi.
Naona.
Ya harusi sichangi. Anikata natusalimia pale. So, coach,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
before I even dissect this further, let's take a quick one, and we be back with more and more of that. In case you missed out on our previous episodes, just check out this one on our YouTube channel.
Some kids, it gets them, it feels like, oh, so it's me. So it seems I'm the problem. Then they start developing guilt consciousness on issues whereby if skills like labeling is addressed well, in case there's a problem with kids, if you have a house help, you have a parent, kindly separate the person from the problem. Address the problem, spare the person. Attack the problem, spare the person.
Hey, wisdom loading. If you missed out on that one, you have no idea. Head on to YouTube,
Yeah.
the channel The Arts in Heart on YouTube. But of course, you can always get this and many more on our playlist. Zico well arranged for you. You just have to click and watch. Click and watch. Let's have some conversation going on. Share the channel, and of course, share this cast live with your friends and family. Coach Collins,
Yeah.
the biggest issues I've had, it's people who have refused their wedding is going to be wedding of the century. And they end up they are not planning to borrow from friends. Good. They are not planning in any way kuuliza michango ya village, all the village mates, nani atatupea ng'ombe, nani atatupea kuku, nani atatupigia maharagwe. No. But the grand plan they have. Let's take a loan. How much? 2 million loan. So you're starting your marriage with 2 million worth of debt. Going to pay it for the next 2 years. How clever is this, coach? And coach, I don't know what's happening on your end, but your network is doing the thing. I don't know nani amekukosea leo, but let's see if you can manage to pull through. Go ahead.
Okay. One of the more common problems, even I've seen it, there's a couple who was put under pressure to take a lot of loan because of his wedding. For surely for him to please the family of the lady, it was an intercultural, intercountry kind of a wedding. The guy did a lot. I remember we traveled to the country where the lady came from. Then the wedding was done in Kenya, Nairobi. This guy did a very big event in that country for the sake of making the people of the family of the lady in that country to be happy, which was a lot of money. He did another wedding here in Kenya the same time. People came in, people were happy, people were excited. Then after the wedding, then the lady told the guy, please, I've seen some of the friends whom they have cars. Why don't you get a car so that we can be seen at least we're a bit advanced? Then the guy took another loan on top of it for the car. Their first 2-3 years, it was turmoil. It came to the point where the guy could not even afford, a whole engineer could not afford even paying his own house rent and to feed his children. And every time the wife was complaining and comparing how other men are supplying for his family, he could just remind her, all the money I took loan to make you and your people happy. Kindly be patient until things are going to go well. Things became tough. The guy had to come up with a fallback plan. You have to go to a home, rural home, stay there. Let me get a smaller house so that I can be able to save much and pay the loan. And the lady told the guy, when you married me, it was not for me to stay with your people, but to stay with you. If you have to go back to your home, I better go back to our home in our country and wait. And the guy told him, if you have to go back to your home, I'll never come and take you back. And that's how it ended. Just because of loan to make everybody happy and excited in every quarters because of marriage. They started their marriage from the foundation of debt and poverty, as much as they had big titles as far as their career is concerned. That's one of the worst mistakes which we can do. And it is common in our society, and people need to be taught so that they can have financial intelligence, even in wedding planning. Another key challenge why all these things are happening is because most of the people, when they are planning to marry or to get married, they tend to believe and think they are wiser than everybody because of their personal ambition. They don't get premarital counselors who can help them to sober up as far as their marriage is concerned and wedding plan is concerned. Now, because of lack of expert marriage counselors who have been trained to handle the aspect of marriage and wedding to advise, then the Mr. and the Miss who is intending to marry, they have become suddenly the wise men. They know it all, and their passion is the key thing, and they are pushing everybody towards it. They mess up by the end of the day. What they forget is, after the wedding, everybody will go, and they'll remain by themselves. So it's key for people who are intending to marry to identify professional marital counselors so they can be helped to be sober in their planning. Now, most of them consult wedding event planners. Now, a wedding event planner is a business person. His goal is to make the best skill he can in that event. So if all your decision is based on their business intention, you're already doomed. One has to know what he or she needs before consulting these business people. Anyway, your ignorance is the success of the business person. And that's how life is.
Ignorance will kill us. This life, no balance.
Yes.
No balance at all. So what we are saying in essence is as soon as you've identified this is the girl of my choice, this is the man of my choice, what should be your work plan, coach, around it, so that you avoid these other unnecessary debt that will going to make sure that that common saying that is being said on the street of Nairobi, mutawachana tu, doesn't exist in your couple?
Interestingly, you see, before the one-day event, which we call the wedding, there are a lot of events which are taking place, which people spend their money. That's why people need to start budgeting in advance. For example, going for visitation to the lady's family. The lady's family coming to visit the guy's family. Where is this guy coming from? Where is this lady coming from? Maybe these people are living in the city. But apart from the city, do they have an ancestral land whereby when our daughter will be married, when our man will marry, where are these people coming from? Because most of our society, there's so much concern about all these things. Then there's the issue of the dowry taking place, which also the man has to budget for it. That is his own. You cannot call him Chango for your dowry. It doesn't work. You have to demonstrate your own responsibility towards the next venture you want in life. Then upon issues of the dowry, then you need to have a committee group of people whom believe in you, believe in your agenda, and want to stand with you, because in the whole event, this one-day event, you cannot do everything by yourself. You need people who are going to help in all these coordinations. Now, at that particular point, upon coming up with your budget and your plan and your budget, then do we need professionals to come in to implement best on our budget? or they can advise you maybe where you can adjust so that you don't have to spend very much, or you have to spend very much to make them get money and you get happy with your ego. Now, when all these things are like, I like the late Chris Kirubi, there's a statement once he said, no, it was Njenga Karume, I'm sorry, it was Njenga Karume. There's a statement once he said that success and failure of every business, it's not in the marketplace, but in the drawing board.
Okay.
Before you start the business, your planning is what determines your success. I believe the same concept applies also to the issue of an event like a wedding. The success and the failure of the wedding is determined by the planning which takes place on the drawing board. Poor planning, then even if you have all the money, you are going to waste. Financial intelligence demands saving more and and spending in context so that your goal is met at the right time.
Wow. In case you are planning to wed, you know what you have to do. Just get here because there's so much you need to be learning from us. We have Maria Pia. Okay, I hope I'm getting that right. And
Yes,
pardon me if I get
Maria
it wrong.
Pia.
Maria Pia Otiso says, a wedding is for relatives and the community, but the marriage is for both of you. So please invest in your marriage. Umesikia hiyo? Let me take that again because this is deep. A wedding is for relatives and the community, but the marriage is for both of you. So please invest in your marriage. Oh no, loan. Yes, loans. And people pay loans that they end up separated, divorced, and hating one another before they even finish paying that loan.
I have a case of a guy, by the time they're going for honeymoon, the pressure because of the financial demand was so high until during honeymoon, the guy could not perform at all.
And then the wife decided, you are not man enough. What kind of man did I marry?
Man are you? Yes. It did not perform. They had to get back to call for marital counselors because the pressure and the stress on him was too much because of the financial demand which were waiting for him after the honeymoon. It's not worth.
Jimmy Kibungi says, happy birthday, my brother. That is Collins Bolo, who is celebrating his birthday tonight. And nice teaching. Keep the fire burning. Keep the fire burning. And of course, we have Njakita who says, save money, plan, and budget. You mentioned about dowry. And this is a subject that has been of quite interest for young couples that are trying, dating couples that are trying to get into the field of marriage. Coach, do you believe we should actually pay dowry, because that's what they call it? Should we pay? Let's start from there, because this is an expense towards the wedding.
Yes. Now, we need to separate between dowry and bride price.
Okay.
Yes. Because we are living at a time whereby some of the men and women who are called the elders, they cannot separate the two. Bride price and dowry, there's a very thin line. A dowry is a token of appreciation to the parents who took care of the lady, while bride price, it's payment which you give to the family of the lady because of the damages assumed which were made, or the achievement she got because of the care of the parents towards the child.
It's a scam. It is a scam.
It is a scam.
This is a scam.
And in our African context, especially Kenyan communities, we are more of dowry, which should be a token of appreciation. So there's no story like nilipeleka mtoto wangu mpaka university. Unajua amefanya CPA mpaka hapa na hapa. Nilitumia pesa mingi. Mwanzo kuna viglasi alivunja and you have to pay. Hiyo yote inakuja milioni 2. Then you start negotiating. Now you are paying for the parental duties. Now that's no longer dowry. Now it has become bride price. You are paying the parents for the role which they took towards nurturing and caring of their daughter. Now that's bride price, not dowry. But if we talk about dowry, even in context of different community, it should be a token of appreciation, which helps in uniting the two community, even as the two people are coming to become husband and wife. So if the context is right, it's okay. Let's appreciate the parents. They did a good job to make the lady to be who she is, even for you to receive, to be continue being the father, the husband, and the friend to this lady. So parents deserve to be celebrated. But paying for their role, it's a scam, a big scam.
So how much should we pay for this scam? Because the other day I had people asking, when I keep saying figures, I'm not just trying to come up with figures. These are figures people are discussing about because in the past, when you talk about dowry, it was really negotiated based on the ability of the person that you're marrying, right?
Yeah.
That was important. Number two, this was just a way to equally show that you're not throwing away your child
Yes.
because they have value, and that was to create some sort of connection between the two families. But it has become a business, and why I'm asking is, the 2 million I was talking about, some of it is equally paying for the dowry. In other communities that are respectable, actually, once you marry and things go south, when you decide to divorce, you actually have to give back that which you
Yes.
received during the negotiations. I don't know if these are common practice in our country, but I know most of them are equally wanakuwaga watu
Yeah,
wanakulanga. Go ahead.
especially the traditional marriage. In case a state of divorce come, the family of the woman hands back. Some community today in Kenya they do it because it has not worked, and the parents have to come and give a gift to the family so that this thing can continue being there. Dowry is something which has been given for life. But once divorce is coming due to misbehavior, assumed misbehavior from the party of the lady, then they have to return it back so that it can be the consummation can finally be dissolved. I'll give another case which happened in Nairobi. We have a family which they knew the man who was to marry their daughter was somebody who was very economically strong and wealthy. So when the time for negotiation came in, they demanded a lot of money. The guy didn't mind. He paid all the money they needed. And those were happy about how their daughter got this guy who has paid them good amount of money. So the wedding was over. Everybody went on. This guy started living with his wife very well. She conceived. She became expectant. She gave birth to the child. Then in African context, in that community, now the family members that were coming to celebrate mtoto amezaliwa. So this guy had a big homestead with a gate at the entrance. So when they came at the entrance of the gate and they told the security guard that we have come to receive our grandchild who has just been born. So the gate man had to tell him, let me call the man of the house. So the guy was called. So he had to ask who are the guys at the gate. Say, these are the family of your wife who have come to receive the child. They were told, please kindly tell them to go. I don't need them because I bought their daughter. I have nothing to do with them. They were shocked. They didn't believe it. They tried to push it again, and he reminded them, the amount of money which I paid you was the payment I gave towards buying your daughter, because no community with upright way of thinking can demand such amount of money. Because you demanded it, I paid you, and it is over. This girl belongs to me, and everything in her belongs to me, and I don't care about what you want. Get out of my way. The women went back and had to have a kampunji with the elders to come and apologize and return some of the money. Now that's how far greed can take us, because we cannot separate bride price from dowry. It's an unfortunate situation.
Well, coach, indeed, that's an unfortunate situation, and I hope we are learning. We are learning for couples that are planning to get married. Coach, somebody mentioned about save money, plan, and budget. What would be the other way around this? Can we say stay away from the wedding ceremony, coach? I don't know if you're still there. Coach, leo network inakusaidia sana. Okay, fine. Okay, great. So, Coach, if you can hear me, my question is, we have been told we need to save money, plan, and budget. What other expenses can we work around to ensure that we are actually staying within our means? Because that's very important. Other than just going out for loans and other things, what can we do to stay within our means and just have a great wedding?
Okay, first understand your current financial position. Two, understand have a projection of the future plan as far as finance is concerned. You're going to start your family. Where are you both going to stay? Which estate? Which location? What about expenses? Both of you to a working place, or probably one will be staying and operating from home. You need to come up with your lifestyle, what we call just lifestyle edition on how your general expenses will be as you're intending to work together and start living together, and talk about it together. Even if it will be an hypothesis, but it's something almost coming to what will be a reality. Then, based on that, then get back now to the wedding. Now that we realize that we'll be spending like 30,000 or 40,000 every month as we start living together where we are. Is it worth a starting point? Once you conclude it's a good starting point, or you need to have a fallback plan and still start somewhere which is good and well, so that you can be having savings for yourself. Two, there's what we call 333-7, whereby 10% give it to God, 10% save it, another 10% invest on yourself. All other things should be budgeted within the 70%. Beyond that, stop it. I think that would be for another session which we'll be having for Family Edition about family and finances. However, in the same context, as far as that wedding is concerned, what are some of the key things which you need? If you have been saving for your wedding for quite a long time and you have money to enjoy yourself, well and good, there's no problem. It is not sinful, neither immoral, to spend all the millions for your wedding. So far, as long as you know after the wedding, you're not going to do it because of a loan, or you're going to become a burden to other people because you made everybody happy for that particular day. So planning becomes extremely important. That's why now it also becomes important to consult premarital counselors and two good event organizers who can help you to work within your means. Have a budget by yourself first before a consultant comes in.
It's good you'll have budgets and you know you're planning on how these things will go. But coach, you look left, right, and center, you don't see money, and parents are not making it any easy. Nancy is asking, can you elope? Is that an option? You know, make it everything cheap.
The best thing to do, get an officiating pastor, come with the lady and 2 witnesses in the church office or in your house or where you'll agree. Let him officiate you and go home with your wife. Period.
Actually, you can walk, and for those who have other belief system, you can walk to the AG chambers and have it sorted.
Yes, you
I
can
believe.
still go to the AG, you can still go to the AG chamber. I've seen it. People going to the AG chambers. Then the same time, when they're religious, at the AG chamber, they still call a minister. The AG chambers, they'll pay very little amount of money, which the government requires. Then the AG chamber will do his part, and the pastor will pray for them, and they go home. Period. You still have your wife. You still have your husband. It is not a must. If you feel like you don't have money to do such a big thing, get a good understanding officiating minister. Let them pray for you, officiate you. What you need are witnesses. Witnesses, they need only to be more than 2. You don't need 1,000. You don't need even 20 witnesses. They need just to be more than 2 witnesses. That's enough. Start your marriage and move on.
So all these guys you always see on the queue. Go ahead before I come in.
In other words, let not the culture of the West, not our own culture, forbid you from enjoying universal blessing of marriage through a good wedding.
Coach, we were talking about weddings. And
Yes.
I have to bring this in for those who enjoy, the social media space and the entertainment industry. There's this so famous TikTok couples. The other day we noticed wamewachana, and
Yes.
and they are called, the Justin Derulo, if that's the name, Derulo somebody. Yeah. Uh, if if we were to say good weddings keep marriages, why are these marriages falling down like rotten apples? What really sustains a marriage after the wedding? And this was not
Okay.
supposed to be the topic, but just help us understand.
Okay. What makes marriage to work is understanding the law and the principles of relationship. That one means just as we have invested so much to become expert in our career, you realize that marriage is the only institution where people start in ignorance but only qualify on how they feel about each other. But very much maximum ignorance. Someone might be having a PhD, master's degree, undergraduate degree in engineering, another area, but he has never read a book about marriage, never attended a marriage seminar, never gotten even through premarital counseling. But this guy has all the confidence he'll make it because of love. But the truth of the matter is, love does not make marriage work. Unfortunately. Why? All men and women who divorce, they were once in love. And in fact, some, when they're coming for divorce, they say, I really love my wife, I love my husband, but I don't think we can cope up together. Meaning, no matter how your wedding will be, if you do not understand the laws and principles of marriage, it will fail. The time when it will fail, it determines by your level of ignorance and lack of learning from your side. Just like today, no matter how you're passionate to drive a Hummer, if you do not understand the traffic laws and how to drive, you will die inside the Hummer. It is a principle of life. So understanding laws of relationship plays a very key role. Many people, they're educated, they are sons of big men and women, daughters of big men and women, very good English. They can twang, they can speak the best English, French and German, and shake their head and they sound like, wow, they're going to make it. They have failed.
Hey, those people have
Therefore,
decided you're
I
not going to
declare Mr.
finish that
X and
statement.
Y as husband. Mr. So and so as husband and wife, you are declared couples who are ignorant and automatic. They have failed from the word go.
Well, what a way to bring it to the end of this nightcast show. Thank you so much, Coach Collins Ball, as always, coming on board and, oozing out the knowledge and wisdom that you have when it comes to matters family. Family edition happens every single Saturday from 9:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. That is East African time, and of course that is 8:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Central European Summertime. You can catch Coach Collins Bolo on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, because he's all there. Collins Bolo on Instagram at Bolo Collins. So that is on Instagram. And of course, cell phone number that is 254-721-605-346. Coach Collins, one word as we part.
Wedding are good. Wedding encourages and motivates children to desire even one day they are going to have their own, but never kill your tomorrow because of your ignorance of today at the expense of entertaining other people. Know what you need, consult where you can consult, and work within your means. If you do that, you'll start your marriage with a good wedding in context of your ability and your circumstance. Thank you. Back to you, Ellie.
Thank you so much, Coach Collins, for those wisdom snippets that you've given us tonight. And you know what? I just thought, Coach, we know about marriages that thrives. What about we talk about marriages that fall? Next week on the Family Edition. See you then as we discuss that and much more. Meanwhile, I leave you with Mwema Nzomo doing a very great piece of the rising star of Kenya and Kita Kering, and the name is X. Good night and God bless you.
Minute of love, minute of hate, making mistakes, shying away. I would have held you closer if I could. You're bitter than I could ever taste. Now I'm in love and I'm ever wasted. I would have held you closer if I could. And even when we try to throw this all behind, I find myself inside of your arms again. What if I'm insane and taking me for granted? I would never come to forgive myself. 'Cause I ain't tryna be your bitch. So don't call me stupid. I know I'm on my way, on top of my head, on my way now. So don't call me stupid. I know I'm on my way, on top of my head. See you wasting a chance in the corner, like you don't know I'm down to be on. Yeah, I keep on reminding you that you're mine. You're gonna wipe me, and I'm hanging in the backseat. I'm waiting for a chance to say bye, 'cause we've been waiting for love that is real. Even when we try to throw this off.